So, Mark, what's going on? How are you?
Um, hanging in there. Getting ready for a big seminar that I have coming up later in the year. Teaching my tech seminar called How to Become the True Media right now, which goes until June. So just plugging along, and still trying to get the message out, regarding what really needs to be done if we're going to make any headway toward real freedom. So just basically the same thing that I've been doing for the last almost 20 years. I've been doing this formally for the past 18 years, since about 2007, and informally for about 23 years, since about 2002 now.
Well, I've said I was just on Greg Carlwood's podcast, the Higher Side Chats, and I made a statement, and I would love to hear your opinion on that statement. That I think at this moment, if we take away what we think Elon Musk wants to do, by the way, they're just totally going to freeze that on my hand thing, and I'm going to be like, look at hand signals. It's like sucks. I can't just talk with my hands. I'm Italian, but Johnny, edit that out. No, I'm kidding. If we take away what we think is the end goal of Elon Musk on Twitter, if we just take that away, which I know is hard to do, but let's just play that game. If we take it away, I believe that Twitter is the greatest town hall square that we've seen in forever. Like you just watch people, they present their ideas, and then you instantly find out if it's a good idea or a bad idea, and you get pounded on if it's a bad idea.
It's funny, you're bringing comedy logic to whether it's because in comedy, if you get the response, that means it was a good idea. But in the real world, if you get the response, that doesn't necessarily mean it was a good idea on Twitter. You get what I'm saying? It could have a big pop, but it could be because you're an idiot.
Well, but you're told you're an idiot.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I just don't know if I don't trust the Twitter sphere.
Mark, what's your thoughts?
It's algorithms. You know what I mean?
I think X is certainly a dramatic improvement over what Twitter used to be before Musk bought it. But do I think that it's a place where like high-minded ideas are discussed and bantered about and given serious thought? No, I think it's like any other social media platform. It's full of a lot of dross. And most of the people do not have a high level of knowledge and certainly don't really understand the causal factors that have led humanity to the current condition we are at, and certainly also do not understand the requirements for real freedom. These are the philosophical ideas that I've been discussing for the better part of the last 20 years. And I'd have to be honest and say that I don't feel that humanity is any closer to understanding them. It's sad but true. I have to be honest with people about where I think people are at, it's very difficult from my position and point of view, having done this for so long in earnest, out of just beneficence. Like, I don't have to spend the time that I spend researching what I research and presenting what I present. I could take my time and selfishly do what I want, but I've decided not to do that out of a moral obligation to try to educate and edify humanity. And I have to be honest and say that I feel like things were probably better back in like 2004, 5, 6, 7. And then after that, they went dramatically downhill. And, a lot of people came into the whole so-called truth and freedom movement presenting nonsensical answers and solutions that are popular, that people graft onto, that a lot of hits on social media get generated by, that a lot of monetary funds get generated by putting out. And that's really what the truth and freedom movements have become, as far as I'm concerned. They've become popularity contests instead of actual philosophical discussions about what is really required. I've done what I've done from a scholarly and philosophical perspective, and I feel like it's gained little to zero traction because people think that the answers lie in politics. People think that the answers lie in finance and money. People even think the answers lie in technological solutions. And the real answer lies in the ability to change one's mind and stop thinking thoughts that are inconsistent with truth, reality, and the true requirements for getting out of human slavery, which is the condition of humanity. And when people who really know the answers to those things, and there are people who know the answers to those things, these are not unknowable things. These are not things with questions with no answers. As I say all the time, the universe does not torment us with the unknowability of its workings. The universe has knowable workings. And the truly intelligent among us, with discernment and with the truth discovery methodologies in hand, if one truly knows them and knows how to deploy them, can come to the understanding of how things really work in nature. The universe doesn't create laws so that it can torment little human beings with the unknowability of those laws. The laws of the universe, the workings of the universe are knowable. And part of the problem is that, like, conventional wisdom in the world, like put it forward by people who really aren't true thinkers, who are pseudo-intellectual thinkers, they try to make things dressed up and sound good, right? So they'll say things like, if anybody claims to have the answer, you automatically know that they don't have the answer,
Yeah.
which is pure ridiculousness. There are people who claim to have the answers and they're incorrect. There are people who claim to have the answers and they may be correct. And we have to have discernment to know the difference between the two. We have to have discernment to understand that the universe does not have laws and workings just to torment us with our inability to know them. If we work hard enough and we really strive for the truth and get our ego out of the way when it comes to discerning the truth, we can come to understand the workings of the laws of the universe and then align our behavior to them and then prevent self-inflicted suffering, which is what really the whole human condition is all about. It's about suffering that is self-inflicted and 100% completely unnecessary. The idea that there's necessary evil, the idea that we have to continue this way and this path and suffering's unavoidable. This is all nonsense. The problem is the human ego is in the way. The problem is that people want to hear what they want to hear instead of what the truth actually is. And absolutely above all else, human beings, and especially people in the so-called truth and freedom movements, because we don't have either. We have the illusion of truth and freedom movements, but we don't have actual truth and freedom movements. The people within these movements especially have not removed their ego from the equation. And then they actually want to point fingers at other people who have actually removed their ego from the equation and bent the knee to actual truth and bent the knee to the actual laws of the fabric of the universe, the actual laws of creation as put forward by the creator of the universe. People have gotten their ego out of the way to learn those laws and to try to bring the understanding of those laws to others. And most people just don't want it. They want to believe what they want to believe. They want to continue thinking the same way that they've always thought. They want to bring their nonsensical belief systems into so-called truth and freedom movements, and they're not changing a thing. That's why we're no closer to human freedom than we've ever been before. I think the sophistication of the slavery is getting more and more deep and sophisticated and playing human beings like a fiddle. And they're not able to see it because they're too entrenched in ego. And they don't want to listen to the voice of actual wisdom. They don't want to listen to the very few people. And again, I'm not going to paint with an enormously broad brush. I'll paint with a pretty broad one, but not an infinitely broad one. The overwhelming majority of people don't have the answers figured out, but there are some people who do. And those people are not listened to. They are marginalized. they are called names. They are told that they can't possibly know, that they can't possibly have the answers, and they get, shoved into the background of history, and people basically either never learn about them or think that they were some quaint, little side effect, footnote in history, and their words really aren't truly grokked, truly deeply understood. And that's what I feel has taken place with my work.
Well, let's get into that, Mark, real quick.
Don't make any bones about it either.
Let me promote you so people know, because you're on this beautiful rant.